Hello Gemini, welcome to Quarter.moon.tarot. Let's start your reading. This is a relationship reading I'm doing. It could be, with any person you would like to, just take a look and analyze and get a little information about your relationship. I have already pulled out the cards and let us start your reading by, just taking a look at the energy of your connection. Now, this could be a person, it could be an activity, it could be your job, it could be you yourself, your relationship with yourself. So see, what you would like to or whom would you like this reading to be with, and then see how it fits. So the core energy of your relationship is about fertility. This is a very fertile and creative relationship, as in it allows a lot of growth, it allows a lot of prosperity, there is a lot of abundance in this relationship. This relationship provides a lot, and you've seen a certain growth happening in your relationship, not only you but the other person as well. You feel there's a certain freedom, to be what you are, to be who you are, to be, allow yourself to grow, allow the other person to grow, and it brings in a lot of abundance, a lot of creativity, a lot of scope for growth for you as well as the other person. Core energy is the ability to prosper and bloom with this person or with this activity. Okay. What is the communication like in this relationship? See, in this relationship, the communication, I've got the retreat card, the turtle. The turtle is an animal which, retreats into its shell very easily and very effortlessly, and, likes to, be in that quiet zone a lot. Stop trying to make something happen. So in your communication, I feel you make an effort to communicate. You try to have an easy, free-flowing communication where you feel that, sometimes, I feel, Gemini, you sometimes don't feel like communicating, but you have this feeling that I must communicate. After all, a relationship, thrives and grows based on how you communicate and, the frequency of communication, where you yourself sometimes feel that I wish I wouldn't have to communicate so much. Let me enjoy the silence between myself and this other person. Let it be a little quiet between me and the other person. One doesn't always have to communicate through words. One need not always be talking. But sometimes, you feel that, it's an effort for some of you to have the conversation. And for some of you, you feel, that I must have a conversation, where you feel you don't feel like talking. With the creativity card, the other person picks up. It's not that, you're holding back information. For some of you, it's not that you're purposely holding back the communication. Sometimes you feel it's perfectly all right if you go on, for a little time without, having a conversation. But then after that, then you start feeling that, I should be having a conversation. How is it that one can't talk to another person? For some of you, you feel that, it's okay. What's the need to talk, where there could be a requirement for a conversation. So see, how you feel about this person. Are you forcing a conversation, or are you forcing yourself to not have a conversation? What do you feel comfortable with? You need to see that I'm quite happy, not having that talk thing, for a day or so. And then when you resume, you feel like talking and you have something to say, then you say it, in a very free-flowing manner. But some of you feel that, I should not be talking so much. I should keep a little quiet. But for most of you, I feel that, you in your communication, you're trying very hard as far as the communication goes, whether to hold it back or to have it. Okay, you probably feel that I must speak. This I pick up for most of you, that I must communicate, I must share, I must tell. Because, that's how the person will know, what's happening. And also, you probably feel that I must always be in that, thing of communicating everything, I feel like. Now, see, the strength of your relationship is that, you do understand and you do know who the other person is and who you are. Both of you know each other's strengths, weaknesses, warts and all. And you have accepted the other person, and the other person has accepted you wholeheartedly the way you are. You don't find faults. You know each other's faults and you're quite content. Yes, I know I'm like this. The other person says, yes, I know I'm like that. you are like this, you are like that. There are no qualms, there are no tiffs about that. There is a wholehearted acceptance of the person and yourself and your relationship and your connection. That is a strong point. You know each other very, very well and you accept each other wholeheartedly. What is the weakness of your relationship? You have the spirit card over here, trust in your higher self. See, your weakness is that you feel, as far as this communication thing goes, and as far as this card also goes, you feel that, things will get okay on their own. Here, with, this is what I feel, that the communication is, you kind of make the conversation, you want to have a little bit of control over the communication. Like I said, you either feel that you should not have the conversation when you feel like speaking, or when you're not having the conversation you feel that I must speak. You feel that alright, let it be, later on it'll all get okay. If you feel like expressing, you should express, don't leave it for a later date. And if you feel that I should it's best, I'm quite happy not speaking, it's okay, when I want to speak I will speak, that's also fine. But this whole thing about communication and any confusion you have with respect to that, don't put it off for later. If you feel like it, do it then. If you don't feel like, do it then, but don't say later. Say that alright, this time I will speak what I want to speak, even though it is not required, but I just feel like talking, so I will just say something. You don't feel like saying anything, leave it, don't have to. And if you feel that I don't want to say this right now, I will say it later, again this card says don't leave it to later, speak and communicate what you want right now. But more often, like I feel for most of you it's all about wanting to share, speak everything at the point you want to. Sometimes it's always better to wait a little, probably, when you really feel that you should, or you measure and gauge the situation and then have the conversation. Then we have the reality of this relationship. You have the Guardian card. You are safe and protected at all times. See, in this relationship you have this sense of security and stability. You feel very safe and secure with this person or with this activity. It is there for you. You are there for it. Okay. Now, see, with respect to this conversation thing, you can get a little moody when you either want to talk or you don't want to talk. Emotionally, you get a little disturbed when it comes to the communication thing. You want to say something, you probably feel that, I always say too much, I become too sentimental, I get too emotional, I say everything, and in hindsight, you feel that I shouldn't have said all of that. Or you want to express yourself, but you say, I will, say it later, and that makes you feel a little moody because, that restless energy is contained. You're not allowing it to flow. It makes you feel very moody. But, in days to come, things become normal, and then you also come out of that zone and you start feeling okay. Then you say that, all right, it's okay, 1 or 2 days I was feeling like that, but now I'm okay after 3 days. But what has happened in those 2-3 days, Gemini, is something, which has impacted, which hasn't made you feel very good. Maybe you feel very sensitive, very emotional, you might be crying a little because you're not able to express, or you probably feel that you've spoken too much. After 3 days, in hindsight, probably, it's okay, but in those 3 days, a little bit of damage has already been done. But at the end of it, you feel that, it's okay, I was a little unhappy for a few days, but now I'm fine, let me just stick to this. This is what it is saying, you need to make choices and make healthy ones and stay committed to those. Making the current choice which makes you upset, which makes you too sentimental, which makes you too sensitive and emotional is not very healthy. So choose the occasion, see what is the requirement. Do you need to speak? Do you feel like speaking? Do you don't feel like speaking? Gauge that and then decide what you want to say, and if at all you want to say something. See, your outcome card is empathy. Speak less and listen more. Have empathy towards yourself. Be observant of what you are saying to yourself. Be a little more observant to your inner guidance telling you about wanting to express what you feel. Be a little observant of how things happen around you when it comes to this very sensitive issue of communication. Pick up your what you feel, what your inner voice is telling you about it. Just like that's what it says, speak less and listen more. Listen more to what the other person has to say. Listen more to your own inner voice when you get stuck about wanting to communicate, not communicate. If you feel that I should say, by all means say, but listen to that inner guidance first, rather than just thinking too much about it. Follow your intuition and have empathy. Be nice, be gentle to yourself when it comes to communication with this specific relationship. See, what is your guidance? Love and nurture your body. See, if you want to express yourself, Gemini, with this person, you know, allow that energy to flow, allow the expression to flow, allow the feelings and thoughts to flow. Otherwise, it's going to impact your throat chakra, your tonsils, your thyroid, your voice, your voice box, the vocal cords. All of that is slowly, the energy is not going to get released, right? So it's going to just tick on in your throat, and it can lead to a few a little discomfort in your throat, having a cough too often, having throat infection very often. Your ears could be paining a little once in a while or very easily. That's because this entire throat business is not throat business, but the throat is the expression thing is not being the energy is not flowing through. So love and nurture yourself and your body and all aspects of it, and do it in a way which makes you happy, which makes you feel loved, which makes you feel nurtured, which makes you feel happy, blossoming, growing. And your second guidance is learn to ask questions, whether you're asking questions of yourself, whether you're asking questions from another person. But here it says don't make any assumptions. Just don't assume anything as far as this other person goes. If you have a doubt, feel free to ask. If you are doubting yourself, feel free to have a conversation with yourself. Just don't hold back and let it be for a later date. That is not the approach which is going to work and be very fruitful. The approach is to ask whatever is bothering you, express yourself the way you would like to. You'll feel a lot better, you'll feel more relaxed, you'll feel a lot happy, and a lot of ease is going to come in the relationships. Things are not going to be put off for later. Deal with the present, deal with things as and when they are, and don't put them off and damage your mental well-being and emotional well-being. So with that, Gemini, I wrap up your reading. Thank you for watching.